Welcome back to Explain the Charts, everyone. Today, July 31st, 2025, we're focusing our in-depth analysis on Amazon, ticker Amazon, as it stands at a critical juncture with its Q2 earnings report due after market close today. The market is buzzing with anticipation, and as you can see from the daily chart, Amazon has seen quite a ride over the past year. Looking at the news, a primary driver for Amazon right now is the expectation surrounding these Q2 earnings. Analysts are keenly watching for continued strength in Amazon Web Services, or AWS, particularly its cloud AI growth and any impact from recent tariffs. Many are optimistic, with some even suggesting the stock could test its 52-week record highs, which currently sit at 242.52. Beyond earnings, Amazon recently made headlines for halting advertising on Google Shopping platform, a strategic move that could impact its e-commerce advertising spend. More notably, the company signed a significant AI content licensing deal with the New York Times, valued at up to $25 million annually, signaling Amazon's deeper foray into AI-driven content and potential new revenue streams. This deal, though relatively small in the grand scheme of Amazon's colossal revenues, could indicate a broader strategy for AI integration that excites investors for the long term. As of yesterday's close, July 30th, Amazon finished at 230.19, reflecting some pre-earnings consolidation after trading within a 52-week range of 151.61 to 242.52. Now, let's zoom in on the daily chart over the last few months to get a clearer picture of recent trends and key price levels. We can observe that after hitting its 52-week high of 242.52 in early February 2025, Amazon experienced a significant pullback, finding strong support around the $200 level in early March. This $200 mark has proven to be a crucial psychological and technical support zone in the past, demonstrated by bounces in late 2024 and earlier this year. The stock then began a steady recovery, building a new uptrend staircase, but it has recently encountered resistance in the $235 to $238 range, failing to break decisively above it. The current price of 230.19 positions Amazon right in the middle of this recent consolidation, showing indecision ahead of the earnings report. Volume has been generally healthy on upticks and pullbacks, but we've seen some elevated volume spikes on significant price movements, such as the sharp drop in April 2025. This indicates strong institutional interest and participation around these key levels. Let's switch over to the 15-minute chart to examine the very immediate price action leading into today's earnings. Focusing on the last two trading days, July 29th and 30th, we see considerable intraday volatility. On July 29th, Amazon saw an initial push higher early in the trading session, testing resistance near 234.72 before a sharp drop to the $230 area, which then acted as intraday support. The significant volume spike on the 15-minute candle around 1949 Universal Time coordinated on July 29th, with a high of 231.41, but closing lower at 230.98, suggests strong selling pressure or profit-taking at higher levels, pushing the price down. Yesterday, July 30th, the stock attempted to recover, bouncing off the $230 mark and showing some modest gains. However, it faced resistance again around 231.80, eventually settling at 230.19 by the close. The high volume on the 15-minute candle around 1949 Universal Time coordinated on July 30th, which surged the price from 229.75 to a high of 234.48, then closed at 234.13, shows strong buying interest pushing into the close, likely anticipating positive earnings. This recent price action indicates that the $230 level is acting as immediate support, while the $234 to $235 range presents a stiff resistance that needs to be overcome. Traders should be particularly aware of volume spikes around these levels as they can signal conviction in either direction. Returning to the daily chart, let's consider the short and long-term outlook for Amazon. From a bullish perspective, if Amazon's Q2 earnings report beats expectations, especially with strong AWS and AI growth, we could easily see a significant gap up. A breakout above the $235 to $238 resistance could swiftly lead to a retest of the 52-week high at $242.52. Beyond that, a sustained move above $242.52 would indicate new all-time high territory, with the next psychological target being $250, and some analysts even eyeing $300 in the long term. Reinforcing the sentiment around the people also ask query we saw. This scenario has a high likelihood of around 70 to 75% given current market sentiment and focus on AI, assuming a strong earnings beat. Conversely, a bearish scenario would unfold if earnings disappoint, particularly if cloud growth decelerates or tariff impacts are worse than expected. A break below the immediate $230 support could trigger a drop towards the $220 to $222 zone, which represents the next significant support established in early July. Should that fail, a retest of the strong $200 support is highly likely, which coincides with the levels seen in March 2025. A severe miss, with a likelihood of 25 to 30%, could even push it towards the $180 range seen in mid-2024, given previous sharp reactions. For traders, identifying key price levels for entry and exit is paramount. Long-term investors should consider buying dips towards the $200 or even $180 support if a significant correction occurs, especially if the underlying fundamentals remain strong. Short-term traders should watch for the earnings reaction, anticipating significant volatility and potential gaps. Consider placing stop losses below key support levels and taking profits near established resistance zones. The volume on both daily and intraday charts will be a critical indicator of conviction post-earnings. A high-volume breakout or breakdown will be more reliable than one on low volume. Keep an eye on the overall market sentiment, particularly the tech sector's reaction, as Amazon often moves in tandem with broader tech trends. In recap, the immediate key levels to watch are the $230 support, the $235 to $238 overhead resistance, and the $242.52 52-week high. On the downside, strong supports are at $220 to $222, and then crucially, the $200 psychological and technical floor. The biggest catalyst coming up is, of course, the Q2 earnings report today, July 31st, 2025. The market's reaction to AWS growth and any forward guidance will dictate AMZN's trajectory in the coming days and weeks. Be prepared for sharp movements and adjust your strategies accordingly. That's all for today's deep dive into Amazon on Explain the Charts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more in-depth market analysis.